Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the session Cnidaria. So we'll be learning about Cnidarians, phylum Cnidaria today. So the introduction. Mostly the Cnidarians are marine organisms. This phylum is made up of more than 19,000 living species. And the phylum Cnidaria is made up of 4 classes: Hydrozoa, Anthozoa, Scyphozoa, and Cubozoa. So we'll be studying them in detail. So yes, they lack cephalization. Cephalization means the concentration of sensory organs in the head. So when it comes to, for an example, like human, we have a well-developed head with brain and all the sensory organs. But these primitive organisms, they lack cephalization. They don't have a well-developed head. Cnidarians have 2 body types mainly. One is polyp, the other one is medusa. Okay. So here I have showed you a picture of polyp and medusa. So usually the polyp is something like uprooted one, which face upward. The medusa is kind of hanging form, which is the inverted form of the polyp. So though there are small variations in their body structure, the morphology, but mostly the morphological features, they share the same. Like they have the tentacles here, like arms. They function as arms to capture the food, to maintain the water column around them. So these are called tentacles. So here you can see in the polyp, it's kind of short ones. Here in medusa, the tentacles are a bit longer. So here you have a mouth, like in the medusa form also you can see a mouth, but the cavity is running upward, but here the downward. So the gastrovesicular cavity, where all the digestion take place in this organism. So the mouth leads to this gastrovesicular cavity, and this organism, they don't have an anus, which means their digestive tract is incomplete. They have mouths but no end, so they take the food through mouth and they put their waste through the mouth itself. So, and also especially they have two layers. One is ectoderm, the other one is endoderm. Ectoderm is the outer layer. So I'll be explaining these things in coming slide as well. So endoderm is the outer layer, endoderm is the inner part, the ecto is the outer. So in between there is a cell, lump of cells called mesoglia. They fill that gap. So here I have showed a picture, 2 pictures of medusa form, which is a kind of an umbrella, or you can say bell form, which is hanging. So this is the mobile life cycle stage of this Cnidaria. So medusa is the moving form. So mostly you might have seen jellyfish. So we call them jellyfish, but actually they are not fish. They are jellies. So like they move. So they are the moving forms of this Cnidarian phylum. So morphologically, a medusa is formed by a bell capable of muscular contraction. So muscular contraction is what helps these animals to move. So with the muscular contraction only, they move from one place to another. So tentacles with a different morphology from those of polyps. Okay, and also they have some special uh, things called photoreceptors and gravity uh, sensing statocysts. So why they have these photoreceptors and gravity sense statocysts is they move from one place to another, unlike polyps are they are sessile, they are attached to, but their movement is very less. So these medusa, as they move from one place to another, they have these kind of receptors. And also they have a special like morphological feature called manubrium, which is the tube hanging down from the mouth. Okay, so these medusa, they reproduce sexually. So when it comes to polyps, you can see they can the mouth is surrounded by these tentacles, and they are cylindrical in form, attached. They are attached to the substratum, so they can move, but they can show some wiggles, like they can move, and also like they can reproduce either sexually or asexually. So that's the difference. Like, and also some polyps, they have separate sex, I mean females and males, or else sometimes one individual can act as male and female. So we discussed about this word hermaphrodite, which means an individual can act as male and female in different seasons. So asexual reproduction occurs by budding, and then the sexual reproduction occurs by spawning. Okay, so here I have showed like a comparison chart, so you can clearly see now. The polyp is the sessile life cycle stage, while medusa is the mobile one. The polyp have a tubular shape. Yes, you saw that it's tubular or cylindrical, we can say. Like the other hand, like medusa, they are bell shaped, and polyp, they don't have a manubrium. Only the medusa, the hanging form with the manubrium. The polyp don't possess any sense organs. Polyp, they don't have any sense organ, but medusa, they have, as I mentioned earlier, they have photoreceptors and statocysts, which means the gravity sensing cells as they move. Polyp can reproduce asexually by budding or sexually. Medusa only can produce through sexually. And polyp produce either polyp or medusa. So polyp is there, polyp like for an example, sea anemone, they can produce either polyp or medusa. But when it comes to medusa, they only can produce medusa forms. Okay, we'll be studying in coming slides. Polyps are primitive. They don't have, they are sessile. They only show very restricted movement, and they don't have any sense organs. But medusa is a kind of something more evolved than the polyp form. So here again I have showed the this diagram. They have two membrane layers, which is very important to know. Like here you have the ectoderm, or we can call them epidermis, the outer surface, like outer layer. The inner one, gastrodermis, or endoderm, which covers the the digestive cavity. So here the mouth, and also in the tentacles we have a special cells called nematocyst. So we will be studying that. That's the very special characteristics of this file. Okay, so yes, so that's the same thing. So between these two membrane layer is a non-living jelly-like mesoglia connective layer. Um, in terms of cellular complexity, cnidarians show the presence of differentiated cell types in each tissue layer. So we'll be studying them. Okay, so nerve cells, they don't have actually they don't have muscles like we have. Okay, they have two layers, and between the mesoglia is there the cell lump of cells, and the cells are like the cells show some differentiation to perform different functions. Like nerve cells, they have nerve cells, not the nerve system. Okay, and some cells are adapted to secrete enzymes, and like other cells are adapted to absorb the nutrients. Likewise, however, the development of organs or organ system is not advanced in this phylum, so you can't see any organs here. So this is the nerve net. We don't say nerve system, nervous system. Here this is the nerve net, how these cells are connected to give the stimuli. So they are scattered and connected. Okay, the special thing is the nerve cells are concentrated in the tentacle parts. So despite the simplicity of the nervous system, like the nerve net, it coordinates the movement of the tentacles and the drawing of the captured prey towards the mouth, and the expulsion of waste. Everything is maintained by this nerve system. So cnidarians contain specialized cells called cnidocytes. So cnidocytes are stinging cells, okay, which stings very sharply, like and they contain organelles called nematocysts. So the inside the cell cnidocyte, the organelle is nematocyst. So we'll be studying them. I'll be showing you a picture. Like these cells are present around the mouth and tentacles, serving to immobilize prey with toxins contained within the cells. So that's what they do. Like they immobilize the prey, they paralyze to in order to like to consume that. So nematocysts contain coiled threads, okay, that may bear barbs. The outer wall of the cell has hair projections. Okay, like it's better if I show this picture. Here you can see this is the cnidocyte, the cell. Inside that you have the nematocyst, which is the organelle. Like this is the cnidocyte, that touch sensitive hair like projection, cnidocyles or cnidocells you can say. So when we touch like any other organism touches, they know the predator is nearing. So what they do is they uncoil this thread. Okay, this in the end of this thread they have like they uncoil the this thread. So in the end of this they put out the harpoon, the very sharp weapon like thing, so that can intrude the predator's body very strongly. So that's the mechanism they have to paralyze their predator or their prey. Okay, when like even sometimes when human human touches some jellies, they show the similar kind of thing, which can be harmful and sometimes fatal. So yes, So the gastrovesicular cavity has only one opening. Yes, we know that. They possess an incomplete digestive system, and also they perform extracellular digestion. Okay, and the lack of a circulatory system to move dissolved gases limits the thickness of the body wall. They are very primitive, so the gases, like, they can't move. So um, it's that's why the limit, the body wall, the thickness is very limited. There's no excretory system, so either they have to put all their waste through the mouth or diffuse that through their body wall. So yes, so we'll be studying the classes, the 4 classes: Anthozoa and Scyphozoa, Cubozoa, and Hydrozoa in detail. Before that, now it's time for your quiz. So we'll be sending you questions in the Zoom. So like those who are participating in Zoom, they can take part in the quiz. So yes, now you all can take the quiz. Yes, thank you for your answers. Yes, hope that you all enjoyed the quiz time. So we'll be moving to our next topic. Yes, class Anthozoa. So we'll be discussing about class Anthozoa. So no medusa states within their life cycle. So they only exhibit polyp form. So that's a speciality. So sea anemones, sea pens, corals, they come under this class Anthozoa. So sea anemones are usually brightly colored and can attain a size of 1.8 to 10 centimeter in diameter. So you can imagine the size. So these animals are usually cylindrical in shape and are attached to substrate. So the mouth of sea anemone is surrounded by tentacles. So you can clearly see here how this is the mouth. So it's surrounded by tentacles. Here you can see. And also inside the inner part is folded to increase the area. Okay. They have slit like mouth opening and a pharynx, which is a muscular part of this digestive system. Okay, here you can see very nice pictures. So this is a clownfish. They live near the sea anemones. Okay, they can live mutually with sea anemones. So as I mentioned before, they have cnidocytes, and when any prey or predator touches their body, they can eject the sharp harpoon like thing to paralyze. But when it comes to this clownfish, they have a special like relationship between animal because they are immune to that, and they have a protective layer. So that's how they are in they are having this mutual um, form of living. So here you can see the sea anemones that is attached to a hermit crab. So they also show a kind of mutualistic relationship where the sea anemones gets food from crab, the leftover foods of crab, while the crab is protected from the predators with the stinging cells of the animal. So here, yes, anthozoans remain polypoid throughout their lives. They can produce sexually by budding or fragmentation, or sexually producing gametes. So next is class Scyphozoa. So Scyphozoa are free-swimming, dioecious and carnivores, cnidarians with a prominent medusa morphology. So when you say class Scyphozoa, you should remember the jellies. They are the ones free living forms. So jellies, there are 200 known species, and members of these species range from 2 to 40 meters, but there are a big giant one as well. So here this Senia capillata can reach up to 2 meter across in diameter, very large one. Next you can see it's called as lion's mane jellyfish. So here a diver, you can see their size, how giant they are. So yes, in the jellyfish, a mouth opening surrounded by tentacles. Here you can see bearing nematocyst is present on the underside of the animal. So here, underside of the animal. So they have branched gastrovascular cells, serves to increase the surface area. Okay, same as the earlier one we studied. So in scyphozoans, nerve cells are scattered over the entire body. So here in Scyphozoa, all over the body, the nerve cells are scattered. But also there can be like neurons that's present as clusters, small clusters. Here you can see small one. So along the rim of the body, we can see these kind of clusters called prophalia. So they are nerve clusters. So these are dioecious, which means they have separate sexes, female and male. And also here you can see, like in Medusa, they produce planula larvae, and they goes to polyform, like they get attached for a small time, and then they produce through budding. Okay, so class Cubozoa. So they get this name because of their box-shaped medusa. Unlike Scyphozoa, they are not like umbrella shaped. They are not bell-shaped, but a square shape, like box shaped actually. So they can grow up to 15 to 25 centimeter, and cubozoans display overall morphological and anatomical characteristics that are similar to those of scyphozoan, but the very like the significant feature is they have uh, separated four, like the tentacles arise from separated four parts. They are called pedalium. So here you can see pedalium. So they have these four hangings. From that only the tentacles come. So that's the very significant difference from Scyphozoa. So nematocyst can be arranged in a spiral configuration along the tentacles. Okay, and cubozoans exist in polypoid form that develop from a planula larvae. Polyp forms then transform into medusoid forms. So here they have polyp, and then they can go as medusa. Here I have showed a comparison diagram, which means like the comparison between box jellyfish and true jellyfish. So here they have cube shaped medusa. So, and they are deadly, they have deadly toxins, so they are very venomous, and also move in a speed 2 meters per second. They are very fast. Okay, they can move very fast, but the other jellyfish, they are very slow and actively hunts, like they merely drift in water waiting for their prey. And also this box jellyfish, they have true eyes, but the true jellyfish, they don't have any organs, visual sense. Okay, so the last one is class Hydrozoa. So that includes around 3,200 species, mostly marine, but freshwater species also included in this class. So the known freshwater species is Hydra. So they can exhibit polymorphism and like medusoid form in their life cycle and polypoid ones. And polyp forms in these animals often show cylindrical morphology. Okay, so here mostly these like we can say the hydrozoans, they form colonies. Colonies means like they are adapted. The polyps, different polyps are adapted to perform different uh, functions. One polyp is specialized, or like they are adapted to produce gametes, while the other is adapted to capture their prey, and the other to do digestion. So this way they form colonies. So colonial hydroid, the good example is Obelia. Okay, so another one here, I have showed two pictures. This one is Portuguese man of war, we can say Physalia. The other one is Velella. So by the wind sailor we say. So these are colonies. They are medusoid forms. They have two, or the two together, the medusoid and the polypoid. So they have the two forms, I mean different individuals in one colony. They are adapted to do different functions. So that's why we call them colonies. Okay, so I hope that we covered most of the parts about the Cnidaria today. So from the introduction about their body and the cnidocytes, the special cells, and all 4 classes under phylum Cnidaria. So this is the end of today's session. Thank you for joining.